Hello future cat conquerors. Welcome to your favorite cat prep channel, Apex Cat Coaching. I'm Suraj Chawla and I'm your quant mentor. So what have we got in these videos? In all these videos, we have brought to you education in the right manner. Now what do I mean by that? If you want to master the quantitative ability section of cat, all you have to do is pick up a topic, break the topic into multiple concepts and then master those concepts. So therefore, we have brought to you every topic in a detailed manner and we have divided them into multiple concepts so that you can learn in the proper manner. Now point number 2 is generally students just watch the videos on YouTube. Now all that you are supposed to do is not just watch them. Whenever a question pops up on the screen, pause the video, solve it on your own and then make sure that you are watching the explanation to understand in the right manner. So if you are doing these two things perfectly, you are done with 70 to 80% of your prep. Now what constitutes for the last 20% of the prep? Go back to your respective study material and ensure that you're practicing enough questions so that you're good with the basic concepts of these chapters. Right? Now who will be benefited from these videos? If you are a student who is struggling in the area of quantitative ability, then you will be definitely benefited from these videos because every concept is covered in a detailed manner in all these videos. Right, at the same time, if you are a person who is looking to master the concepts in CAT, these videos are just for you. So therefore, before we start, all I would like you to do is subscribe to our channel, like this video and also make sure that you are sharing this video amongst your friends who are preparing for CAT. Also, follow us on Instagram. Just type Apex Vizag on Instagram so that you get the right updates at the right time from the right people. Having said that, you can also join our free WhatsApp community in the number given below, right? Or the link to the WhatsApp community is also in the description. So you can follow the community so that you get questions of the day, you get proper mentoring from us and also study plans which will help you in the journey of CAT. So let's get started, guys. So in the complete chapter of ratios, all that we will be bringing in for you is a video on each of these required concepts. Now, not just this chapter, every chapter we are dividing into multiple concepts and we'll be bringing every concept to you in detail in the YouTube channel. Right? So, let's get started. So, before we start the ratios chapter, let's understand ratios kya hota hai yaar. Right? So, ratio is nothing but it's a tool to compare two or more variables. अब हम compare कैसे करते हैं? We always compare like terms. What do I mean by like terms? I can't compare my height with your weight, right? I hope you are able to understand this. Now why can't I compare my height with your weight? क्योंकि यार मेरा height जो है that is always measured in feet or centimeters. And when I talk about your weight, आपका weight जो है will always be compared or will always be measured in the terms of kgs. So I can't compare centimeters to kgs. So therefore, if I want to compare two terms, they have to be like terms. Now what do I mean by like terms? The units of measurements have to be same. Clear? So two simple basics of ratios, that ratio is a tool to compare two or more terms or like terms. Now what I mean by like terms? Like terms means the units of measurement should be same. Right? Now let's get started with the topic. Suppose I am telling you that A has 20 rupees and B has 30 rupees. And now I want you to find the ratio of A and B. Now when I say the ratio of A and B, mathematically we use the sign colon. So we write this as A is to B. So we use the symbol colon and we read it as A is to B. So how do we calculate ratio? In mathematics, ratio is calculated by the rule of division. So if I want to calculate A is to B, all I have to do is I have to divide A by B. So I write this as 20 by 30. Now tell me, क्या 20 by 30 मेरा ratio है? नहीं, 20 by 30 is not my ratio. That brings me to the first rule of ratios, that the ratios must be expressed in the most simplified form. Now most simplified form का मतलब क्या होता है? That means it should not be further cancelable और सारे common factors को हमको हटाना चाहिए, right? तो अभी 20 and 30 में common factors है क्या? हाँ है, दोनों multiples of 10 है, right? So therefore I can write this as 10 into 2 and this can be written as 10 into 3. अब ये 10 10 common है, इन दोनों को cancel करने के बाद द मोस्ट सिंप्लीफाइड फॉर्म जो हमको मिलेगा वो होगा 2:3. सो देयरफॉर अगर हमको A एंड B का रेशियो निकालना है तो हम उसका रेशियो 20 एंड 30 नहीं बोलेंगे, द रेशियो इज गोइंग टू बी 2:3. ये हो गया दो टर्म्स का. नाउ व्हाट इफ आई गिव यू थ्री टर्म्स? सपोज आई एम टेलिंग यू दैट A has 20 rupees, okay, B has 30 rupees, and I'm saying that C has rupees 40. अब हम इन तीनों को डिवाइड कैसे करेंगे? Now if I write A divided by B divided by C, I will be completely wrong because mathematics में ऐसा डिविजन तो हमको सिखाया नहीं गया है, राइट? तो इसको हम कैसे डिवाइड करेंगे? इसको डिवाइड करने के लिए हमको लीनियर डिवीजन सीखना पड़ेगा. लीनियर डिवीजन मींस इन अ स्ट्रेट लाइन, राइट? सो देयरफॉर आई राइट दिस एज A is to B is to C, right? And then I write this as 20 is to 30 is to 40. अब याद रखना हम तीन टर्म्स का रेशियो निकाल रहे हैं, राइट? वी आर कैलकुलेटिंग द रेशियो ऑफ थ्री टर्म्स. देयरफॉर we need to search for the common factor in all the three terms. अब तीनों terms में common factor क्या है? ये तीनों भी multiples of 10 है. So I can write this as 10 into 2 and then I can write this as 10 into 3 and I can write this as 10 into 4. So 10 is a common factor, I cancel them and therefore I can write the ratio as 2 is to 3 is to 4. अब 2 is to 3 is to 4 में कुछ common है क्या? यहाँ पे कुछ भी common नहीं है, मतलब हमारा final ratio हो जाएगा 2 is to 3 is to 4. So what did we learn so far? First basic funda is ratio is a tool of comparison of two or more like terms. Clear? Point number 2, the units of measurements have to be same. Now when we come to rule number 1 of ratios, ratios is calculated by the mathematical tool of division. And point number 2, that ratio must be expressed in the most simplified form. तो हमने ये दो simple rules सीखे ratio कैसे निकालना है, right? Now let's come down to rule number 3 of ratios. I'll just erase this part off, okay? अब the next rule of ratios हमको क्या बोलता है? In order not to change the value of the ratio, if you multiply each term of the ratio with the same number, the ratio does not change. Let's take an example. Suppose अभी मैं A को 20 into 8 से मल्टीप्लाई करता हूँ और B को भी मैं 8 से मल्टीप्लाई कर रहा हूँ. तो अब A का वैल्यू क्या हो गया? यहाँ पे A का वैल्यू हो गया 160 और B का वैल्यू हो गया 240. And now let's take the ratio of 160 is to 240. Is it in the most simplified form? No. Easier thing to do is cancel off the zeros. So if I'm cancelling the zeros, 0, 0 gets cancelled. Now I have 16 and 24. Is 16 and 24 also divisible by some common table? Yes, they are divisible by 8. Right? तो अब इसको हम लिख सकते हैं 8 into 2 और इसको हम लिख सकते हैं 8 into 3. 8 8 cancel हो गया, so you can see that the ratio remains the same. So I repeat, this is the third rule of ratios, that if you multiply each term of the ratio with the same number, the ratio does not change. Fourth rule, if you divide each term of the ratio by the same number, the ratio will not change. Let's apply that. Now suppose I am dividing A by 5, that gives me 4. I am dividing B also by 5, that gives me 6. Now let's calculate the ratio of 4 is to 6, right? अभी अगर मैं लिखता हूँ A by B is equal to 4 by 6, this can be written as 2 into 2 and this can also be written as 2 into 3. I can cancel 2 and 2 here. That means my final ratio still remains the same, that is 2 is to 3. Clear? So we learned 4 simple rules of ratios. First rule, ratio is attained by the rule of division. Second rule, ratio must be expressed in the most simplified form. Third rule, if you multiply each term of the ratio does not change. Fourth rule, if you divide each term of the ratio with the same number, the ratio does not change. Now the question comes, is this rule applicable to addition and division and subtraction as well? Let's check that. I'm erasing this part. Now let's add and divide by the same number. ठीक है? अब लिखते हैं A को मैं 5 से ऐड कर लेता हूँ. So this becomes 20 plus 5, that is 25. अब B को भी मैं 5 से ऐड करता हूँ. So this becomes 30 plus 5, which is equal to 35. ठीक है? अब अगर हम A and B का रेशियो अगर हम निकालते हैं, तो let's understand this. A divided by B, this can be written as 5 into 5. This can be written as 5 into 7. If I cancel 5 and 5, the ratio I get is 5 by 7. Now you can check these two are not same. Clear guys? So therefore, the fifth rule is this application does not apply to addition or subtraction. So these are the 5 simple rules of ratios that we have learned and 2 basic properties of ratios. Right? With this, let's get into the question and start solving our answers. Now, I repeat, pause the video, solve it on your own and then come back to the video. ठीक है? तो अब A का वैल्यू रुपीज 12,500 दिया हुआ है, B का रुपीज 10,000 दिया हुआ है. What is the first basic funda of ratio? That the units of measurements have to be same. Are they same? Yes. So we are done with the basic property of ratio. Now let's calculate the ratio. When I calculate the ratio, I use division method. I write A divided by B, right? Which I can write this as 12500 divided by 10,000. ठीक है? तो जब भी सिंप्लीफाई करना है, सबसे इजी पार्ट क्या होता है? जीरोस कैंसिल कर दो यार. ठीक है? अगर जीरो हम कैंसिल करते हैं तो हमारे पास बचा क्या? 125 by 100. Now if you are quick at table of 25, you should understand that 125 is a multiple of 25 and 100 is also a multiple of 25. If you are not able to figure out 25, you can divide it by 5 2 times. ठीक है? So I can directly divide by 25. So this can be written as 25 into 5 and this can be written as 25 into 4. That means I can cancel 25 and 25 and I get my final ratio as 5:4. ठीक है? Right? So this is how we calculate simplified form of ratios. We started with a very simple question. Let's move to the next question. Now this question says find the ratio of 10 centimeters is to 1 kilometer. First rule of cross check. Are the units of measurement same? No. The units of measurement are not same. I have one in centimeters and I have one in kilometers. So now what is my responsibility? अभी हमको या तो किलोमीटर्स को सेंटीमीटर्स में चेंज करना है या सेंटीमीटर्स को किलोमीटर्स में चेंज करते हैं. सो लेट्स कन्वर्ट किलोमीटर्स इनटू सेंटीमीटर्स. ठीक है? तो अभी हमको पता है कि 1 किलोमीटर जो है वो कितना मीटर्स होता है गाइस? वो 1000 मीटर्स होता है. ठीक है? अब हमको पता है 1 मीटर इज इक्वल टू 100 सेंटीमीटर्स, राइट? सो इफ 1 मीटर इज इक्वल टू 100 सेंटीमीटर्स, 1000 सेंटीमीटर 1000 मीटर्स will be equal to 1000 into 100 centimeters, which means this I'll get it as 1 lakh centimeters. ठीक है? So what did I do? I successfully converted kilometers into centimeters. Now let's calculate the ratio. So ratio will be 10 centimeters is to 1 lakh centimeters. Both of them are in centimeters format. Nothing to worry about it. 0 0 gets cancelled. My final answer becomes 1 divided by 10,000 becomes the final ratio of 10 centimeters is to 1 kilometer. Clear guys? 2 simple questions on ratios. Let's look at the next part. Now let's apply this directly. What am I given? I'm given A is to B is 4 is to 9. Mathematically इसको हम कैसे लिखते हैं? हम इसको लिखते हैं A divided by B is equal to 4 by 9. ठीक है? Let's now look at what is the question asking us. अब question हमसे पूछता है 3A is to 2B. इसको भी हम लिख के देख लेते हैं. तो ये हो गया 3A, ये हो गया 2B. अगर मैं इसको ध्यान से देखूं, this can be further written as 3 by 2 into A by B. Can I write something like this? Of course yes, because if I'm writing 3 by 2 into A by B, it is as good as 3A by 2B. ठीक है? अब हमारे पास A is to A by B तो हमको पता ही है ना, तो I can replace this A by B directly here. So I can write this as 3 by 2 into 4 by 9. ठीक है? तो अब ये क्या होगा हमारा? 3 1s are 3 3s are 2 1s are 2 2s are, मतलब 3A is to 2B का जो फाइनल रेशियो होगा वो हमारा होगा 2 is to 3. राइट? सो फार वी हैव लर्नड अगर हमको टर्म्स दिया हुआ है तो हम रेशियो कैसे निकालते हैं. नाउ लेट्स गो रिवर्स. नाउ लेट्स ट्राई टू अंडरस्टैंड conversion of ratios into actual value. Now before we proceed, let's understand why are we doing this. In all your competitive examinations, ratios के जो questions होते हैं ना, वो ratios दिया रहेगा and we have to convert ratios into actual value and apply in word problems. आपको हमेशा word problems ही दिया रहेगा, right? So therefore it becomes very important for us to ensure that we are converting ratios into actual terms. ठीक है? Before we get into this question, let's understand what do I mean by this. Now suppose I'm given A is to B is 3 is to 5. Now what is the common mistake that students commit? Students assume A का value 3 है, B का value 5 है. क्या A का value 3 और B का value 5 होता है? नहीं होगा, right? Or might not be. Let's understand why. Because if I look at A plus B here, according to these two values, A plus B is equal to 8. But if you observe in the question, A plus B is equal to 24. मतलब A का value 3 नहीं है, B का value 5 नहीं है. Now this is the first mistake that students commit. When A is to B is given as 3 is to 5, they assume A is equal to 3, B is equal to 5, which will be completely wrong. Right? Now let's try to understand कि हम ratios को actual terms में कैसे convert करते हैं. उसके लिए हम पिछले example में जाते हैं. Now A divided by B, as per the previous example, we had 20 divided by 30. So what did we do? We wrote 10 into 2. And we wrote 10 into 3 and we got the final ratio as 2 by 3 after cancelling 10. So can I say that I obtain my ratio after cancelling a common term from the numerator and a common term from the denominator, right? Which means अगर आपको 2:3 दिया हुआ है, मतलब 2 से कोई एक नंबर कैंसल हुआ है एक्चुअल वैल्यू में एंड 3 से भी सेम नंबर कैंसल हुआ है एज कंपेयर टू द एक्चुअल वैल्यू. तो अगर मुझे रेशियो को एक्चुअल वैल्यू में कन्वर्ट करना है तो मुझे एक कॉमन वेरिएबल से मल्टीप्लाई करना है, बिकॉज आई डू नॉट नो व्हाट नंबर हैव आई कैंसल्ड इन दिस क्वेश्चन, right? So therefore to convert from ratios to actual value, okay, all I have to do is multiply with a common variable. Let's say I'm multiplying with x here. If I'm multiplying with x here, I need to know that I've also cancelled x from here. Therefore, I need to multiply 3x to this. Now, the choice of the variable is up to you guys. You can use your favorite variables. Now, let's say I use a letter called a. So, if I write 2a, I have to ensure that I'm multiplying a to this also. So, this value then becomes 3a. So, all you have to keep in mind is, if you're multiplying a variable to one of the ratios, you have to multiply it to the same term of the ratio. ठीक है, अब हम यहाँ पे आ जाते हैं. Let me erase this part. अब हमको क्या दिया हुआ है? हमको दिया गया है a is to b is equal to 3 is to 5. So let's use a common variable called x. If I'm multiplying x to a, then I have to multiply x to b also. So therefore the value of b here becomes 5x. ठीक है, तो अब हमारे पास एक्चुअल वैल्यूज आ गया. नाउ व्हाट डू वी हैव? a plus b is what is given to us in the question. So therefore let's write 3x plus 5x, which is equal to 8x, and 8x as per the question is equal to 24. So if 8x is equal to 24, what do I get, guys? I get the value of x is equal to 24 by 8. मतलब हमको x का वैल्यू कितना मिला? हमको x का वैल्यू 3 मिला. Now after getting the value of x, what is the question asking us? The question is asking us values of a and b. Now what are the values of a and b? The values of a and b are 3x and 5x. Now it's very easy. I can replace the value of x here and get my required answers. So this value becomes further 3 into 3, that is 9. And this value here becomes 5 into 3, that is equal to 15. So 9 and 15 become the actual values of these two terms. ठीक है, ये तो हुआ ratios को actual value से कैसे convert करते हैं and going forward. ठीक है, अब एक और shortcut है. Now this shortcut is applicable only when total is given. Let's learn that here itself. I'm erasing this part. जब भी total दिया हुआ है, please keep this in mind. Whenever you are given total, only then this shortcut is applicable. Now what is the shortcut or simplified method? If this is 3 is to 5, just add them. This becomes 8. Clear? So a's value here becomes, I pick up 3 from here, which becomes my numerator, divided by, I pick up some total, that is 8, which becomes my denominator, multiply with the total given in the question. The total given to me is 24. So this becomes 3 by 8 of 24. I cancel 8 ones are 8 threes are 3 threes are becomes 9. Similarly, the value of b here now becomes, I pick up 5 as my numerator, divided by, I pick up 8 as my denominator into 24. So this becomes 8 ones are 8 threes are 5 threes are 15 becomes your final value. So therefore your final values are going to be 9 and 15 respectively. Clear guys? So this is the complete agenda of the first video. We have learned if given actual values, how do I calculate ratios? We have also learned if given ratios, how do I convert into actual values and calculate my answer. So in the coming part of the video, we'll be looking at 8 to 9 simple examples on whatever we have learned so far and make this perfect for us. I repeat, only if you solve the coming questions, only then you are ensuring that your conceptual clarity is extremely good. So I repeat once again, pause the video, right? Whenever the question is popping up, pause the video, solve on your own and then come back and then continue with the learning part of the video, right? Once again, if you have not clicked the subscribe button, please subscribe to our channel, like our video and also share this video amongst your friends, right? Let's continue with the practice part. Now, what am I given here? I am given the ratio of ages of Vijay and Vijay is 3:4. If Vijay is 24 years old, मतलब हमको total नहीं दिया हुआ है, right? अगर total नहीं दिया हुआ है तो हम वो formula apply नहीं करेंगे, ठीक है? तो अब हम क्या करेंगे? अगर हमको ratio दिया हुआ है and something else is given, we apply a simple funda, we convert ratios into actual values. Now how do I do that guys? Do you still remember it? Yes, अगर हमको ratio दिया हुआ है 3:4, इनका actual value, okay, let me write this as Ajay and Vijay. So the actual values further becomes, let's say 3k. If I'm multiplying k to this number, I have to multiply k also to this number, so this becomes 4k. अब 3k 4k उनके actual values हो गए, ठीक है? अब क्वेश्चन क्या पूछता है? If Vijay's age is 24 years old, मतलब if 4k is equal to 24, right? अगर 4k is equal to 24 हुआ तो k का वैल्यू कितना होगा? फटाफट निकल जाएगा. So I know that the value of k is equal to 24 by 4, which is equal to 6. ठीक है? ये 4 ones और ये 4 6 का जाएगा. अगर k का वैल्यू 6 आ गया तो can I calculate the age of Ajay? Yes, I can calculate the age of Ajay. The age of Ajay is equal to 3k, which means the age of Ajay becomes 3 into 6, and therefore my answer here becomes 18 years is the age of Ajay. Very simple question to start off with. आप इसको वर्बली भी कैलकुलेट कर सकते हो, ठीक है? अगर 4 parts 24 हुआ इंस्टेड ऑफ 4x, और आप दिमाग में रख लो, अगर 4x is equal to 24, x का वैल्यू 6 हो गया. अगर x का वैल्यू 6 हो गया तो 3x का वैल्यू कितना होगा? 3 into 6, that is 18. So you can easily do this with the help of not putting your pen down, or you can do this with the help of oral method. Clear? Right? What is one more way of looking at it? Let me erase this part off. The other way of looking at it is, let's understand this. Okay? मुझे पता है अजय का एज डिवाइडेड बाय विजय का एज इज इक्वल टू 3:4. ओके, अब हमको दिया हुआ है विजय का एज. लेट मी राइट विजय का एज इज इक्वल टू 24. सो अजय बाय 24 इज इक्वल टू 3/4. सो आई कैन सिंप्लीफाई दिस. इज 4 1s are 4 6s are 3 6s are. The value of Ajay is equal to 18. And that becomes your final answer. तो देखो यार, हर एक क्वेश्चन को अप्रोच करने के मल्टीपल तरीके होते हैं, ठीक है? अब ये डिपेंड करता है कि आप कौन सा तरीका अप्लाई करते हो और कौन सा आप क्विकली अप्लाई करते हो. एंड यू शुड ऑल्सो गेट द आंसर एक्यूरेटली. रिमेंबर, इन दीज एप्टीट्यूड एग्जामिनेशंस द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट चैलेंज इज to manage or to balance between speed and accuracy. You have to go at a good pace to ensure you get a accurate answer. So both the things should be kept in mind. Speed and accuracy, both of them are very important in these examinations. Right? Let's move to the next question. Now, sum of two numbers is 60. If the numbers are in the ratio of 7:5, find the numbers. Now I told you, this is nothing but my total. Whenever total is given, we can use the fraction method. What is the fraction method? Let's say I have 7:5. Now all I do is I add both of them. 7 plus 5 becomes 12. So what is the share of this number? So this becomes my numerator, divided by some total becomes my denominator, multiplied by total given to us, that is 60. So 12 ones are 12 fives are 7 fives are 35 becomes my answer. ठीक है, फटाफट दूसरा नंबर निकालते हैं. अब दूसरा नंबर निकालने के लिए क्या करना पड़ेगा? ये जो है वो न्यूमरेटर हो जाएगा, टोटल जो है वो डिनोमिनेटर हो जाएगा मल्टीप्लाइड बाय 60 जो हमको दिया हुआ है. सो दिस बिकम्स 5 5 25. अभी आप क्रॉस चेक कर सकते हो. 35 plus 25 60 है, मतलब हमारा आंसर करेक्ट है. तो whenever total is given, the most advisable method is this, right? When total is not given, then move back to ratios to actual values, right? So I'm not going with the other method. If total is given, we'll apply this method only. Only then you can save your time in the examination, right? Now let's look at this. So we are given the number of chocolates with A, B and C are in the ratio of 3:2:7, and if the total number of chocolates is 120, find the number of chocolates with A, B and C. ठीक है, तो अब यहाँ पे हमको क्या दिया हुआ है, हमको रेशियो दिया हुआ है. व्हाट इज द रेशियो? द रेशियो इज गोइंग टू बी 3:2:7. Now along with ratio we are also given the total number of chocolates. ठीक है, तो total number of chocolates कितना दिया हुआ है, हमको 120 दिया हुआ है. तो जब भी रेशियो दिया हुआ है एंड टोटल नंबर ऑफ चॉकलेट्स दिया हुआ है, द बेस्ट मेथड टू गो इज द फ्रैक्शन मेथड. तो हाउ डू वी अप्लाई द फ्रैक्शन मेथड? वी ऐड देम. 3 plus 2 plus 7, this becomes 7 plus 3 is 10, 10 plus 2 is 12. So what is the number of chocolates with A? 3 becomes my numerator divided by, ये जो 12 है, sum total of 3 of them will become my denominator multiplied with 120. So this is 12 ones are 12 tens are. So number of chocolates with A becomes how much? 30. तो अभी अगर आप ऑब्जर्व करोगे तो कैन आई से ये 120 by 12 सब में कॉमन होगा. लेट्स ट्राई टू अंडरस्टैंड दैट. तो अगर मैं यहां पे जाता हूं तो दिस बिकम्स 2 डिवाइडेड बाय द सम टोटल इज 12 मल्टीप्लाइड बाय 120. तो हम क्या देख रहे हैं यहां पे 120 by 12 जो है वो सब में कॉमन होता है. सो देयरफॉर हमको ये हर बार लिखने की जरूरत नहीं है. हम क्या कर सकते हैं, हम डायरेक्टली मल्टीप्लाई कर सकते हैं. सो देयरफॉर 2 into 10 here becomes 20, and for this the multiplying factor I can directly write, that is 7 into 10, that is 70. Or if you want to understand the basic method, this becomes 7 by 12 into 120. ठीक है guys? So therefore always remember, जब भी रेशियो दिया हुआ है and total दिया हुआ है, then the best method to use is the fraction method. In the fraction method, this number becomes your numerator, sum total of them becomes your denominator, multiplied by total will give you your final answer, right? So remember two simple methods. One is if ratios and total is given, we use the fraction method, and if ratio is given and total is not given, then the best method is convert ratios into actual value and move down to the conditions given in the question, right? Let's move to the next question. Now here I am given the ratio of boys and girls in a class is 7:4. If there are 24 more boys than the number of girls, find the number of girls in the class. मतलब हमको total नहीं दिया हुआ है. Whenever total is not given, which method to apply guys? The ratios to actual method to be applied. ठीक है, तो अभी अगर हमको रेशियो दिया हुआ है, boys and girls का जो रेशियो है वो 7:4 है. So this is my ratio. ठीक है, अगर मेरे को एक्चुअल वैल्यू निकालना है तो हमको क्या करना पड़ेगा, हमको एक कॉमन वेरिएबल से मल्टीप्लाई करना पड़ेगा. ठीक है, लेट्स टेक दैट वेरिएबल एज k अगेन. सो दिस बिकम्स 7k, दिस बिकम्स 4k. ये हमने पहला स्टेप किया. अब हम देखते हैं क्वेश्चन में एक्स्ट्रा इंफॉर्मेशन क्या दिया हुआ है. क्वेश्चन टेल्स मी 24 मोर बॉयज देन गर्ल्स. व्हेन आई से 24 मोर बॉयज देन गर्ल्स, दैट मींस यू नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड the number of boys are 24 more than the number of girls. Or whenever I use the word called more or less, it is always a difference between the two terms, which means boys minus girls is equal to 24. It's always larger minus smaller is either more or less. ठीक है, now boys minus girls is 24 and I have boys as 7k, I have girls as 4k. Let's replace this here. So this becomes 7k, this becomes 4k, 7k minus 4k is equal to 24. ठीक है, तो अब हमको क्या मिलेगा, 3k is equal to 24, or I get the value of k is equal to 24 by 3 which is equal to h. अब हमको k का वैल्यू मिल गया. अब क्वेश्चन क्या पूछता है, क्वेश्चन इज आस्किंग अस फाइंड द नंबर ऑफ गर्ल्स इन द क्लास. ठीक है, तो गर्ल्स का वैल्यू क्या हुआ, गर्ल्स का वैल्यू हो गया 4k. Do I know the value of k? Yes, we calculated the value of k is equal to 8. So therefore the value of 4k here becomes 4 into 8, which means the final value here becomes 32. and 32 is going to be the number of girls in the class. If the question is asking you find the number of boys, then the number of boys is equal to 7k, which is going to be 7 into 8, which will give you how much, guys? 56 becomes the number of boys in the class. Okay? So this is how we solve if ratios is given and total is not given. This is how we solve our questions. Okay? Now let's move forward to the next question. Now let's look at this question. Now this question says the ratio of three natural numbers is 2:5:4. If the sum of their squares is 720, find the sum of the numbers. Now which means यहाँ पे total हमको नहीं दिया हुआ है, right? Now since total is not given, we will be using the ratios to actual value method, right? तो अब ratio हमको क्या दिया हुआ है? Ratio दिया हुआ है 2:5:4. तो उनका actual value क्या हो जाएगा? Actual value हो जाएगा 2k, 5k and 4k. Now whenever you are not given total, this becomes a standard approach. ठीक है? अब हम देखते हैं question में क्या दिया हुआ है. Now the question says find if the sum of the squares is 720. That means we need to know the squares of these numbers, right? So therefore squares of these numbers, so 2k whole square will give me 4k square, 5k whole square will give me 25k square and 4k whole square will give me 16k square. And not just this, the question has told us that the sum of the squares is equal to 720, right? So 4k square plus 25k square plus 16k square will give you how much? 16 plus 4 is 20, 20 plus 25 is 45. So we have 45k square is equal to 720, or the value of k square is equal to 720 by 45. Clear? So when I'm talking about 720 by 45, we can cancel this with 9. This is 9 80s and this is 9 5s and this is 5 1s are 5 16s are. Therefore, the value of k square is equal to 16. So if k square is equal to 16, the value of k becomes plus or minus 4. But what is the question asking us about? The question is asking us about three natural numbers, right? So therefore, the value of k would be plus 4. ठीक है? तो अगर plus 4 हो गया, now the question is asking you find the sum of the numbers. What is the sum of the numbers? 2 plus 5 is 7, 7 plus 4 is 11. That means our job is to calculate the value of 11k. Therefore, if k is equal to 4, the value of 11k becomes 11 into 4 and that should be 44 should be your final answer. Now, sometimes students go slightly a longer route. They calculate 2 into 4, 5 into 4 and 4 into 4. Is that wrong? That is not wrong, but that is not required also. Clear? Right? Now, let's move to the next question. Now, let's look at this question. Now, this question says in a class of 75 students, which of the following can be the ratio of boys and girls? Now, before we proceed, let me tell you the ideal way to look at this is number of boys and number of girls should be in natural numbers. I can't have 0.5 boys or 0.3 boys. So, therefore, number of boys and number of girls should be natural numbers. At the same time, I am given total. Total is equal to 75 and I am given the ratio. Now, whenever total is given, let's understand this, guys. If A is to B is given, then the right way of solving this becomes A divided by A plus B multiplied by total. Now, if I want this fraction to be a natural number, the best way to do is A plus B should cancel this exactly. Are you getting the point altogether? Right? Or if you're not understanding, let's first solve this with the help of the options. Let's look at option 1. Option 1 says 1 is to 5. So, what is the number of boys here? The number of boys here becomes 1 by 6 of 75. Let me erase this part off. Now, tell me, is 1 by 6 of 75 a natural number? Definitely not, because this becomes 6 into 12.5. So, I am getting the number of boys as 12.5. Now, this is what I was trying to tell you, that total should be exactly divisible by the sum of the ratios given to us. Right, let's look at the second option. If I talk about my second option gives me 4 is to 5. 4 plus 5 is 9. So, this part becomes 4 by 9 of 75. Now, this will be 9 8s are 72.3333. Again, 4 into 8.333 will not be a natural number. So, I repeat, guys, the shortcut is simple. Total should be exactly divisible by the sum of the numbers given to us, and that is going to be our required answer. Let's look at the third option as well. So, this is given to us as 5 is to 7. So, this becomes 5 divided by 5 plus 7 is 12 into 75, which will again not be a natural number because this becomes 12, 6 are 72. So 5 into 6.25. Clear? So final option becomes option D, that is 2:3. Now you can check, this becomes 2 divided by 5 into 75. So this is 5 ones are 5 15s are 2 into 15 becomes 30. And can 30 be my number of boys in the class? Yes. If 30 is the number of boys, the number of girls will be 45. So I repeat the shortcut again, that the total should be exactly divisible by the sum of the numbers that is given to me in the form of the ratio. If you are able to get that, then we should be able to get the answer in the form of natural numbers. Clear, guys? So let's look at one more question of the same kind. Now this question says, in a class of 60 students, which of the following cannot be the ratio of boys and girls? Right? Which means whichever sum total is able to divide my total, that will be a possible value. So let's add these two. 1 plus 4 is equal to 5. Does 5 divide 60? Yes. So this can be my answer. If you want, you can cross check. This becomes 1 by 5 of 60. 5 ones are 5 12s are. The answer becomes 12. If 12 is the boys, then the number of girls will be the remaining value. Clear? Similarly, 2:3. So 2 plus 3 becomes 5. 5 divides 60 exactly. So this can be my answer. 5 plus 7. 5 plus 7 is equal to 12. 12 divides 60 exactly. So this also can be my possible answer. And the last option is 4:5. Now 4 plus 5 is 9. 9 does not divide 60 exactly. So this cannot be the ratio of number of boys and girls. So therefore this becomes my answer. Clear, guys? So that's it from this session from my side, guys. So in this session we have learned the basics of ratio. We have also learned how to apply the ratio in the most simplified manner. Right? So stay tuned for our next video. Before that, I would like you to subscribe to our channel, like our video, and also share this video amongst your friends. Stay tuned for the next video. Till then, all the best.